It feels like I'm taking a risk as to whether I'll be able to physically and mentally sustain it, but it's a risk worth taking. Kia ora, nau mai, haere mai. Hello and welcome. I'm Cait, ko Ngāti Apa toku iwi. I live in Papaioea, Palmerston North, in Aotearoa, New Zealand. I have done since 2021, but I grew up in Pōneke, Wellington, where I lived for 24 years, minus a couple that I spent away in Ōtepoti, Dunedin, for mental health treatment when I was a young adult. I'm a 96 baby. That makes me however old I am relative to when you were watching this, of course, but right now it makes me 28. I am a non-binary takatapui, a they, them. My technical rainbow label, if you care, is a trans non-binary panromantic asexual, but I hate that mouthful, and I simply prefer queer or takatapui. I'm also multiply disabled, which, to just get it out of the way, I can tell you a little bit about for context. So, my main diagnoses are CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, autism and ADHD, hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, HEDS, and a lot of its fun little friends, and functional neurological disorder. And how does all that affect me? Well, I have complex mental illness which hospitalized me for 5 years in my teens. But while it still affects me every day, I have it well managed. I have a good therapist and I have the right medication. Autism and ADHD affect everything, but the ways I've learned to manage them are so interchangeable as just parts of who I am, how I live, and how I see the world. HEDS is a bit harder to sum up and manage. For anyone who doesn't know, it's a genetic connective tissue disorder. And connective tissues are basically the glue holding your whole body together. Those of us with HEDS, our glue doesn't hold very strongly. And you can imagine the breadth of issues that it can cause. I say can cause because it affects everyone who has it differently. For me, it affects my digestion, my bladder, my body's automatic functions. But worst of all for me is the effect that it has on my joints, including the vertebrae in my spine. I have a lot of pain and injuries, and that has many flow-on effects. Lastly, functional neurological disorder is a malfunctioning of the brain's communication with the body via the central nervous system, like a computer with busted software. This can cause all kinds of problems imaginable when that's what's not working. But for me, it caused functional paraplegia, paralysis of both legs, which I've had for 5 years, as well as functional seizures. These two things mean that I use a wheelchair to get around and I'm not allowed to drive. Online connections to queer and disabled communities carried me through years of psychiatric hospitalization and then through years of progressing physical disabilities. YouTube channels, internet friends, social media, and podcasts have been my lifeline through these otherwise very frightening, painful, and isolating experiences. It's incredibly scary and lonely to lose your mind and your health, especially as a young person. I've shared about my experiences and learning the whole way through, but I haven't really created the kind of content that I do now until around 2021. I love creating content, learning and sharing ideas, and contributing back into the communities that have saved my life over the years. Now I'm here expanding onto YouTube, having only ever really made things for social media. I always create the things I do for 3 main reasons, and this channel will be no different. To give back to the communities that help me so much, to connect with people who understand, and to teach my hard-earned lessons to anyone wanting to learn. Like I do on socials, on this channel, I'll be creating a mixture of informative and candid content about this queer disabled life. You'll see things like wheelchair life pro tips, vlogs, disability hacks and DIY, accessible fashion and lifestyle, degendering fashion and beauty, and being queer in healthcare. I've chosen to expand to YouTube because I found passion in creating the kind of content that I do, but I'm finding the short form to be too restrictive to continue growing the depth of this work that I do. And to be completely transparent, which I know I would appreciate as a viewer, it is another channel of income in an industry that is hard to get by in, and being disabled is fucking expensive, y'all. I am excited to open this next chapter up. It feels like I'm taking a risk as to whether I'll be able to physically and mentally sustain it, but it's a risk worth taking. I'm ready to try this branch that I've been wanting to grow for a really long time now. I hope you'll stick around, maybe hit the like button, maybe even subscribe. To find me on socials, it's at Kate Ruth Lawrence, all one word, everywhere. Ka kite anō. Till next time.